Got my bracket. Gonna put some holes in it. Is that seawater? Look at this, dude. This is the most disgusting car I've ever touched. I want to show you guys some of the brake line plumbing that I just finished up that I was working on last week. I just kind of kept my head down and drilled a lot of holes and ran a lot of zip ties, but check this out. It's pretty nice. Oh, did the old zip tie trick. So one zip tie around all of them, then two small zip ties to separate the lines. Then I couldn't find a three-way brake line separator. That looks pretty good. So what I'm working on now is the AIM pressure sensors, getting them PTFE pasted and mounted so I can call this front half of the car completely done. I just did this one right here, some PTFE paste. I'm gonna do these two right now, and then we can start finalizing some of the rear clutch plumbing. PTFE paste, it works good. But you gotta make sure that you, oh look, already making a mess. Get it in the threads. Keep the surface here clean. Cool, let's put it in. My trusty Boxo 3/4. So many AIM pressure sensors, it's crazy. Nice. All right, third one. I PTFE pasted up my T because that is where the brake light pressure sensor is going to go. So I'll get these all assembled. Last part to the brake system, brake pressure sensor. I know I noticed that I was just throwing this around and maybe some of you guys don't know, but basically two wires, positive in, positive out, and you run your brake lights through this. So you press on the brakes, it's pressure activated. When it hits the right amount of pressure, it connects the poles and makes your brake lights come on. Super easy, and I like it so you don't have an actual like button switch. Some of the stock cars, especially older cars, have like an actual button. These are easy to replace and generally pretty reliable. I haven't necessarily had one die on me yet. I guess this may be just like a painless one or something like that from Summit Racing, maybe an All-Star. Very easy to find. I like the ones with actual thread-on terminals. They make a lot with just clip-on ones, but the thread-on ones with the eyelets, they'll never fall off. Very big wrench for this job. Interior brake line plumbing done. Brake and clutch. Look at that. Handbrake. This is the parking brake there. Goes up. Front brake line, clutch and rear brakes. Clutch, front, rear. Super freaking nice. God, I'm happy with that. Okay. Almost done with the rear section. I need to finish up in here. Alec had ran them in a certain way, and I was like, I don't really like it, so I'm gonna redo that. And then I can start working on the clutch plumbing and the clutch bleeder. Got to get that figured out. We got something cool I want to show you guys for the clutch bleeder. Something I found that I've never seen before. But yeah, let's get plumbing. Rear brake lines all the way out to the bulkheads. Pretty much done. I think I showed you guys that last time, how I ran these over to the quick disconnects over here, out at the wheel. Those are pretty much done, just needed final snugging, tightening, all that, insulating. But what we have here is the foot brake, handbrake, and the clutch line. And I need to run the clutch line over and put a quick disconnect somewhere in the back. So I got another one of the same ones I always use, Aeroflow -3 EPDM seals, bulkhead type quick disconnect, same thing I use right here. And here is the master cylinder for the clutch. This is a pull type Wilwood master cylinder. The plumbing needs to connect to here, to that line that goes in the front. But of course I want to have a dry brake. The dry brake is going to live on the chassis. You'll be able to disconnect it, and then you'll be able to pull the engine and all of that without having to break into the clutch system. So I'm going to be putting it right here somewhere, and oh yeah, this way. Probably build a little bracket, rivet that bracket to the chassis, or riv nut it to the chassis right here. This line will get mounted probably right here to the side of the block, and then go to the quick disconnect. So I kind of need to just attach the quick disconnect and then figure out how I want to route this plumbing line, because I do have a little bit of slack to take up because I bought one of those pre-made lines. So let's get her attached. I love these things. And yeah, again, you get them at Pegasus Racing Supply. So this side is the side that has the bulkhead nut that'll live on the chassis. So we connect that line here. And this side is the clutch side. Probably end up doing something just like that. Some sort of tab at an angle. And then this line will, yeah, be attached over here somewhere. I like that. This is hopefully a pretty big open area, and the exhaust will be going up and not down. So now I just got to figure out how to attach this line here and how I want that to run, so I can figure out my positioning of my tab for this. Safeties. The next thing I want to get installed and start thinking about is the battery and the battery box and the kill switch, because all that kind of lives together. So, pretty cool. Check this out. Antigravity Group 75 battery, just like we use in the race car, same size. I figured that makes life easy. These are those super freaking light batteries, just absolutely ridiculously light. Lightweight lithium-ion race battery. Cool. The kill switch to go along with it. Solid state battery isolator. Partech. Has a button, one for the outside. This is off only. And then one on the inside of the car for the driver to reach. That is on off. Really nice little unit there. So we'll be installing that today. And then this custom-made battery box from Taylor Cables. So Taylor is a part of the same company that is Aeromotive. So I reached out to Taylor Cables and asked them if they would make me a battery box for this unit specifically. And the cool thing with this is that it is going to be utilizing those Radlock battery quick disconnects. Now, I don't have the right size for this, but I will show you what these battery quick disconnects are all about, and you can kind of understand my game plan here. So this is a battery quick disconnect. How cool is that? It swivels. You crimp your battery cable in here. This is the smaller size. I'm waiting for the larger side for the actual battery. That was like a 1 gauge wire. This is a 4. But check this out. You just push this button, boom, they come right apart. So this sucker will be mounted into the lid, and then the cables will attach right here. And the reason why this is cool is because how this is going to be mounted into the car, you're going to want to take the box out, just pull these, boom, positive, negative, take the battery box right out of the car, and I'll show you where. Right there. So it's going to be mounted here as far forward as possible. I wanted to find out a place to mount it here, but with the power steering pump being there and then the rack, it was just going to be buried up underneath a bunch of stuff, and it just didn't seem like it made a lot of sense. So it's still forward right here, because the fuel cell is right here too, but it's going to make life much easier. This pad got welded to the chassis for the battery isolator. Then the battery cables are going to run here and here. Got our positive and our negative quick disconnect. So even with the dash in the car, if you want to pull the battery out, I'm going to drop some fasteners in right here and make some sort of catch there so that the battery box slides in, and then you put your 2 rib nuts there. And to take it out, you just boom, boom, take your rib nuts out, and then this will slide out through the passenger seat. And that way, if the battery dies, because it's going to be buried up underneath there, the battery dies or anything happens, all you got to do is just take the battery out and then swap it out in the box on the bench. Going to be really cool. And then to couple this later on, I have my forklift plug that I put all my anti-gravity jump boxes to. Watch, I'll show you. Like this is a plug for one of their little jumpers. I put that plug, and I'm going to put this plug in the car. So if I want to charge it, if I want to jump it, whatever it needs to do, I can just plug directly into this. And this will be somewhere in the back or in an easy to get to location. So pretty cool. Let's get the battery box mounted, and then we can get the battery in and just keep moving. Okay, check this out. Anti-gravity. Boom, right in. This, hold down. Simple. Bolt in on the side. Boom, boom. Right, easy peasy. And then there's just enough room for this to live on the lid right there and have terminals and all of that. Boom, in there just like that. Ah, I need the freaking rad locks, then I can get this done. But I'm gonna get the battery box mounted and move on. Okay, this is my plan. Got a piece of material. It's angle with the smooth tapered edges, which is pretty cool. It is on the thick side, so I'll put some speed holes in it in a little bit. But this is gonna go up against the firewall. I will nut and bolt it through the firewall, and it's perfect because this makes it sit at a little bit of an angle, which means that the battery box will be able to slide into there with that being mounted to the firewall, and then 2 rib nuts here and here mounted in. So that way it'll be able to slide in and then bolt in. So I'm gonna drill some holes, mount it to the firewall, make sure that's good, and then I'll put some speed holes in it. I'm in the machine site area. Got my bracket, got some marks on it, Bridgeport, gonna put some holes in it. Got some speed holes. I'm gonna do this side and chamfer it up. Oh, look at that. Whoa. Weird. Look at that. Nice, dude. Got some freaking aluminum coins now. All right, D-Burr.
So while Matt works on a bracket for the battery mount, I'm going to go ahead and get this guy mounted up. This is a CarTech battery isolator, so it's essentially the kill switch for the car. There's a button that gets wired up to this thing, and when you press it, it lifts the ground, and then the battery, or excuse me, the power is disconnected from the car so that you don't have any draws and everything can shut down properly. We have a spot right here on the car. I know it looks silver, but it's actually bare metal, so of course that's how it's going to lift ground. Matt made this thing welded to the chassis, goes all the way through, and we're going to have another battery cable, excuse me, ground cable that runs all the way through the back. This thing's pretty freaking sweet, so let's get that thing mounted up. Super duper simple. This is the back side of the CarTech battery isolator. That is bare, and it's going to touch the bare metal of the chassis, and when you press a button, it lifts ground. It is mounted super duper easily. You just use 2 bolts. For us, in our case, we're going to use 2 M6 bolts that are super short. Look like that. You can see that, probably like 5 millimeters. And it will get attached to the car here. Hey. What? What do you want?
You stole a GoPro?
I stole a GoPro, dude.
I want to show these guys how I'm about to chamfer all these freaking holes.
Jumper.
Chamfer.
Okay.
All right, I'll chamfer. You go do that. Okay, got the camera back, got my piece, chamfer. Check it out, check it out. Just your regular run-of-the-mill countersink bit, back in the basic freaking dude drill press. Not gonna clamp it down, just gonna let it eat. Now, last step, DA. Yo, this is some race car shit. All right, this is the finished product. Boom, it'll go in, get bolted. That looks sick. Okay, holding. Yeah, that's good. Let me see that battery box first. Let's check that out. Slide her in there. Yo, we need to raise it up a little bit so that the battery box can go backwards a little more.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, now we have full penetration. Oh, nice. Okay, rib nuts here. She's mounted. Little cool trick, because I'm in the car. I'm about to mark this to drill all the holes. Do this. Mark it with a Sharpie. Then you can scribe your line and you can see it. It's the lazy cheating way to die cam it. Check it out. You can see exactly the marks. Pilot drill it up. Now just gotta see if it's thick enough to tap it or if we'll put a rib nut in. Yeah, penetrating well. Tap it on a drill again.
Oh, this guy's insane. Look at him.
Okay.
This way. Oh, good enough.
All right, let's see. Look at that, dude.
Probably obvious, but half the time this guy's filming, I'm filming, him filming, doing work, and then we have to pull it out and then do it again, and then do another take.
That's why this car is taking so long to build right there. That's a perfect example. Dude, nice.
Solid.